Good morning, students. Today we are going to study Unit 2. Present perfect, simple and continuous, hot verbs, make, do, and exclamations. Present perfect, simple and continuous. The verb action began in the past and continues to the present. It possibly goes on into the future as well. يعني بالpresent perfect simple والcontinuous حركة الفعل began in the past بدأت في الماضي واستمرت إلى الحاضر. It possibly goes on into the future as well. من الممكن أن تستمر في المستقبل أيضا. For example, we've lived in this house for 20 years. Means we have lived here. We have lived in this house for 20 years. That is the present perfect simple. Sorry, I'm late. Have you been waiting long? That is the present perfect continuous. I've been a teacher for 5 years. This sentence is present perfect simple. And I have been working at the same school at that time. That is the present perfect continuous. Notes. There is sometimes little or no difference between the simple and the continuous. For example, I have played, that is the present perfect simple. I have played tennis since I was a kid. And the present perfect continuous, I have been playing tennis since I was a kid. So sometimes there is no difference between the present perfect simple and the present perfect continuous. The continuous can sometimes suggest a more temporary situation. The simple can sound more permanent. So the present perfect continuous sometimes suggests a temporary situation, that is يعني فتحالة مؤقتة. But the present perfect simple, it is more permanent. فالشي دائما يكون دائمي. For example, I have been living with a host family for 6 weeks. تلاحظون إنه هاي ممكن situation is temporary. فشي مؤقت because the present perfect continuous is used in this sentence. The castle has stood on the hill overlooking the sea for centuries. Has stood, this is the present perfect simple. The situation is permanent because this castle has stood on the hill. يعني هذه القلعة موجودة أو واقفة على الhill overlooking the sea for centuries لعدة قرون. فإذا الحالة تكون السيتويشن هنا بالpresent simple present perfect simple is more permanent. فشي يعني فتحالة دائمية. Certain verbs by definition suggest duration. ممكن duration يعني فترة زمنية. For example, wait, rain, snow, learn, sit, lie, play, stay. They are often found in the continuous. So certain verbs which suggest duration are often found in the present perfect continuous. For example, it has been raining all day. She has been sitting reading for hours. Remember that state verbs يعني أفعال الحالة rarely take the continuous. They do not take the continuous or rarely take the continuous. For example, I have known Joanne for years. You use the present perfect simple, not the present perfect continuous, because no is a state verb because it rarely takes the continuous. How long have you had that car? Have you been having? That is wrong because have is a state verb. It cannot be used in the continuous. I have never understood why she likes him. That is a correct sentence because understand is a state verb. It is not being used. It cannot be used in the continuous. So it is incorrect to say I have never been understanding. Match a line in A with a line in B. Practice saying them. Okay. He has been stung. He has been stung. That is in column A. He has been stung. The correct answer is all over his body. Stung هنا يعني قرص أو انقرص أو انلسع. He has been stung all over his body. He has visited royal places. royal places. He's been staying in cheap hostels. He's been staying in cheap hostels. هنا معنى كلمة hostel يعني النزل أو الفندق أو السكن الصغير اللي هو يكون نزل للطلبة والشباب. He's been staying in cheap hostels. I have been pickpocketed and mugged. I have been pickpocketed and mugged. Pickpocketed يعني انسرق من الجيب. From pocket, this word from pocket يعني يعني مدول النشالين دائما يسحبون من الجيوب. I have been pickpocketed and mugged. mugged هنا يعني سرقة. I have met a lot of really great people. I've met a lot of really great people. He has been to Vietnam and Japan. He has been to Vietnam and Japan. Compare the use of tenses in these sentences. Number 1, I have read that book. It's good. I've been reading a great book. I'll lend it to you when I have finished. I've been reading a lot about Orwell recently. I've just finished his biography. تلاحظون هاي the present perfect continuous is used here, and also the present perfect simple. She has been writing since she was 16. She's written 3 novels. He's played tennis since he was a kid, and he's been playing tennis since he was a kid. These are different tenses in these sentences. Simple and continuous language focus. Number 1, simple verb forms see actions as a complete whole. He works for IBM. IBM, I think that it is a computer company. He works for IBM. It rained all day yesterday. I have lost my passport. تلاحظون هاي different simple verb forms هنا بهاي الجمل. Continuous verb forms see actions in progress with a beginning and an end. So the continuous forms has a beginning and the end, and actions are in process. I am working with Jim for a couple of days. I'm working with Jim for a couple of days. It was raining when I woke up. Here are different continuous verb forms. The company has been losing money for years. Number 3, state verbs don't tend to be used in the continuous, as I said before. For example, I know Peter well. I've always liked him. I don't understand what you are saying. هنا know, will like, will understand is used in the simple form, not in the continuous form. Remember the verbs that rarely take the continuous, they are state verbs, as I said. This is because why do they not take the continuous? Because they express states that are seen to be permanent and not subject to frequent change. So they are not used in the continuous because they express states that are permanent. يعني تعبر عن الحالات الدائمية وحالات دائما تكون ما تتغير. For example, verbs of mind. Here are verbs of mind. For example, know, understand, believe, think, and mean. Verbs of emotions. Love, hate, like, prefer, and care. Verbs of possession. For example, have, own, belong, and certain other verbs like cost, need, contain, depend. These are all state verbs. They do not take the continuous or rarely take the continuous because they express states that are permanent and not subject to frequent change. Match a line in A with a line in B. A. Peter comes from Switzerland. Here, A1. Peter comes from Switzerland. Why? Because you can see that it is a true sentence, because Peter will always come from Switzerland. Peter is coming round at 8 o'clock because that is a future arrangement. You use the present continuous. C. I wrote a report this morning. I wrote a report this morning. 2. I sent it off this afternoon. So I wrote a report this morning. I sent it off this afternoon because it is a completed past action with a definite time reference. D. I was writing a report this morning. I'll finish it this afternoon. So D is number 1 because it is the past continuous, an action that was in progress and is incomplete. E. I heard her scream when she saw a mouse. I heard her scream when she saw a mouse because it is the infinitive form that is used in an action that is seen as a single or whole event. I heard the baby screaming all night long. ing form, screaming here, ing form is used when there is seen as a long action in progress. G. What have you done with my dictionary? What have you done with my dictionary? I can't find it. Because it is the present perfect simple, the action is seen as a complete whole. يعني فشي مكتمل. What have you done since I last saw you? Here it is the present perfect continuous. It is asking about a continuous or repeated actions over a period of time. I have had a headache all day. So I is number 1. I have had a headache all day. That is the present perfect simple. Have here is a state verb and cannot be used in the continuous form, as I said before. I have been having second thoughts. I have been having second thoughts about the new job. It is the present perfect continuous here. The action of having second thoughts here is seen as one completed event. K. I have known Anna for over 10 years. I have known Anna for over 10 years. It is the present perfect simple. A whole event that started in the past and continued till now, and know here is a state verb. I have been getting to know my neighbors. I have been getting to know my neighbors. It is the present perfect continuous. It is an action in progress which is not yet completed. M. I have cut my finger. It hurts. I've cut my finger. It hurts. It is here the present perfect simple. It is seen as a single or a whole event. I've been cutting wood all morning. Here it is the present perfect continuous. It is an action that started in the past and continued to now or until now. Paradise Lost. Here it is the reading of Unit 2. Paradise Lost. What can be done to stop tourism destroying the object of its affection? Morris Chandler. Repose on the boom in the wood. Travel. Here it is highlighted. So destroying the object of its affection means that they destroy affection هنا يعني معناها تأثير أو عاطفة. they destroy the beauty and charm of it. On the sun-soaked Mediterranean island of Majorca here it is in Spain, the locals are angry too late. In the last quarter of the 20th century, they crashed in on, it is also here highlighted, they crashed in on means they made money from the word cash, they made money out of, they cashed in on foreign nationals, mainly Germans, wanting to buy up property on their idyllic island. Idyllic here means يا أما perfect, wonderful, ممكن تجي يعني فشي شاعري. Suddenly it occurred to Majorcans that the island no longer belonged to them. They don't deny tourism's vital contribution, vital مهم أو حيوي, contribution مساهمة to the local economy. The industry has transformed Majorca from one of Spain's poorest parts to the richest in per capita income. Per يعني لكل, each يعني أو وفقا هنا ممكن تجي. In per capita income. Capita here يعني نصيب للفرد. نصيب لكل فرد. يعني income دخل, فدخل لكل فرد. But the island's 630,000 inhabitants يعني مواطنين الساكنين are increasingly convinced that the 14 million foreign visitors a year are far too much of good thing. Here it is also highlighted. They are convinced that the 14 million foreign visitors a year are far too much of a good thing. Far too much of a good thing means that good things can be done to good things can be done to excess يعني إلى مرحلة الإفراط. Water is rationed here يعني تقنين المياه. Pollution is worsening يعني التلوث البيئي is worsening, they sue, and there is no affordable housing left for them to buy. Affordable يعني affordable فشي سعر يعني معقول. On the other side of the world, 250 Filipinos were recently evicted from their homes. Evicted يعني طردوا أو نزعوا الملكية للبيوت. Their lakeshore village of Ambilong was cleared by hundreds of police who demolished 24 houses. Demolished يعني حطم أو هدم 24 houses. The intention of authorities was to make way for a major business venture. Venture هنا يعني مشروع. Venture, not oil or logging هنا يعني تدوين سير السفن, or mining يعني استخراج المعادن, but an environmentally friendly holiday resort منتجع. A growth industry. Tourism is the world's largest and fastest growing industry in the 1950s. 25 million people traveled abroad. Last year it was 750 million. The World Tourism Organization estimates that by 2020, 1.6 billion people will travel each year, spending over $2 trillion. The effect of tourism, تأثير السياحة. 2 million of tourists' foreign destinations are exotic paradises. Exotic here means يعني فشي غريب. Unspoiled يعني غير ملوث. idyllic, as I said before, شاعري or wonderful, and full of local charm. But many of the world's resorts are struggling to cope يتماشى معه with relentless waves of tourists. شنو معنى relentless waves of tourists? Means never ending يعني أعداد غير منتهية of groups of tourists whose demands for ever more swimming pools and golf courses are sucking them dry. sucking them يعني يمتصوهم امتصاص يعني ده جف ده تمتص بحيث ده تصير جافة. The issue is massive and global. The issue is massive and global. Massive يعني very huge and global عالمية, says Teresha Barnett, Director of Tourism Concern, a charity which campaigns for more responsible approaches to travel. Tourists in Africa will be having a shower and then will see a local woman with a pot of water on her head, and they are not making the connection. Sometimes you'll see a village with a single tap يعني حنفية, when each hotel has taps and showers in every room. The problem is that tourists demand so much water. It has been calculated that a tourist in Spain uses up 880 liters of water a day compared with 250 liters by a local. An 18-hole golf course in a dry country can consume هنا يعني تستهلك as much water as a town of 10,000 people. In the Caribbean, hundreds of thousands of people go without piped water. Piped water يعني الماء المنقول بالأنابيب. During the high tourist season, as springs are piped to hotels. In 1950, 25 million people traveled abroad. Last year, it was 750 million. Winners and losers. The host country يعني البلد المضيف may not see many benefits. In Thailand, 60% of the $4 billion annual tourism annual يعني yearly سنوي tourism revenue means revenue يعني الإيرادات leaves the country. Low-end package means that their package is the people who pay for low-end package, that is the cheap, which the people pay for. Tourists tend to stay at big foreign-owned hotels, cooped up in the hotel compound. Cooped up in the hotel compound means kept in the hotel without going out. They stay in the hotel, buying few local products and having no contact with the local community other than with the waiters يعني and chambermaids الخادمات المسؤولين عن غرف النوم employed by the hotel. Mass tourism usually leaves little money inside the country, says Teresha Barnett. Most of the money ends up with the airlines, the tour operators, and the foreign hotel owners. Tour operators يعني العاملين في السياحة. These days, the industry's most urgent question may be how to keep the crowds at bay. يعني to keep the crowds at bay بالخليج يعني البي الخليج يعني الشاطئ. A prime example, prime here رئيسي يعني example of this is Italy, where great culture centers like Florence and Venice can't handle all the tourists. Can't handle يعني ما يقدرون يعالجون أو يسيطرون all the tourists they get every summer. In Florence, where the cities have million or so inhabitants, have to live with the pollution. Here البوليوشن يعني التلوث البيئي. gridlock يعني gridlock يعني اللوك الازدحام المروري. and crime الجريمة generated by 11 million visitors a year. There's talk not only of boosting hotel taxes, boosting hotel يعني رفع الضرائب الفنادق, but even of charging admission to some public squares. يعني يضيف بعض charging بعض يعني يضيف دفع نقود to some يعني الدخولية يدفعون نقود الدخولية to some public squares لبعض الميادين أو بعض الأماكن في المدينة. The idea is to discourage at least some visitors as well as to pay for cleaning up the mess. The future. For many countries, tourism may still offer the best hope for development. The Vietnamese are doing their best to open up their country, says Patrick Duffy of the World Tourism Organization. Iran is working on a master plan for their tourism. Libya has paid $1 million for a study. They all want tourists, and people like to discover ever new parts of the world. They are tired of mass tourism. Even if a country doesn't have beaches, it can offer mountains and deserts and unique cultures. Yet, if something isn't done, tourism seems destined to become the victim of its own success. Means the victim of its own success means it has lost because it is not successful. The victim of its own success. Its impact on the environment is a major concern in hindsight about what tourists organizations might have second thoughts. Means here might have second thoughts means that they think again and possibly they may change their minds about what exactly they were trying to sell. As Steve McGuire, a tourist consultant استشاري هنا يعني, says, tourism more often than not ruins the very assets it seeks to exploit. Assets يعني الممتلكات. And having done the damage simply moves off elsewhere. Damage يعني الضرر. For many countries, tourism may still offer the best hope for development. Match a line in A with a line in B. Can you remember the context? هاي طبعا هذا الموجود بالريدنج اللي قرأت لكم إياه. A. The boom يعني الازدهار. The boom in world travel. The boom in world travel. Tourism's vital contribution to the economy. Tourism's vital contribution to the economy. Per capita income. Per capita income. A major business venture. A major business venture. A major business venture. Foreign destinations. Foreign destinations. Consume as much water. Consume as much water. A prime example. A prime example. The best hope for development. The best hope for development. Hot verbs. Make and do. Verbs which may have a general meaning but are also used in many other contexts which with a different meaning. يعني هاي الميك والدو الهوت verbs ليش سموها hot verbs؟ هواية تستخدم يعني شائعة popular. For example هاي همينة من الريدنج they wanted to make way for a holiday resort. بقى هنا make هنا جاية فعل after to يعني infinitive after to. They aren't making هنا with the ing the connection. The Vietnamese are doing هنا فعل doing هنا with the ing their best to open up their country. Tourism having done the damage moves off elsewhere. طبعا ال have همينة also is a hot verb. Put the words in the right box with either make or do. Here, make a good impression. Make a good impression. Do business. So, make a good impression. Do business. Make arrangements. Make arrangements. Make a decision. Make a decision. Make a difference. Make a difference. Do research. Do research. Make a profit or a loss. Make a profit or a loss. Do your best. Do your best. Make a start or make a move. Make something clear. Make something clear. Do a good job. Do a good job. Do a degree. Do a degree. Make an effort. Make an effort. Do somebody a favor. Do somebody a favor. And make a suggestion. Make a suggestion. Complete the sentences with a phrasal verb. Here we have phrasal verbs. So complete the sentence with a phrasal verb with do. Do away with something, could do with something, do without something, or do something up. يعني هنا something راح تجي المفروض word, any word instead of it. Number 1. We've bought an old house. We've bought an old house. We are going to do it up over the next few years. يعني do it up يعني يصلحوه أو صيانة يسووا له. So we've bought an old house. We are going to do it up. This one, do it up over the next few years. I'm so thirsty. I could do with a cup of tea. I'm so thirsty. I could do with a cup of tea. I think we should do away with the Olympic Games. It's a waste of time and expensive. So number 3, I think we should do away with the Olympic Games. It's a waste of time and expensive. Number 4, I could never do without my personal assistant. So here, instead of something, there is my personal assistant as these sentences. I could never do without my personal assistant. She organizes everything for me. Do the same with these phrasal verbs with make. هاي phrasal verb يعني فعل plus a preposition or فعل plus an adverb. So, number 1. Thieves broke into the castle and thieves broke into the castle. تلاحظون هنا الجملة بالpast broke مو break. broke into the castle and made off with jewelry. made لأن ما يصير نستخدم make لأنه هنا الفعل broke بالماضي فنحول المake to made. Thieves broke into the castle and made off with jewelry and antique paintings. يعني they robbed يعني انهزموا بالجولري والantique paintings. Jake's parents buy him lots of toys. They are trying to make up for always being at work. So number 2, they are trying to make up for always being at work. Number 3, what do you make of the new boss? What do you make of the new boss? I quite like him. Number 4, you didn't believe his story, did you? He made the whole thing up. يعني made something. هنا the whole thing is instead of this word something. And why did we change it to made? Because the first sentence is in the past. So you didn't believe his story, did you? He made the whole thing up. Made the whole thing up. So these are the phrasal verbs. It is a verb plus either a preposition or a verb plus an adverb. Spoken English. When we speak in any language, we can be vague and imprecise. Vague يعني نكون غامضين وimprecise غير دقيقين. من نتكلم في أي لغة ممكن أن يعني هاي اللغة مالتنا تحصل على تصير يعني غامضة وتصير غير دقيقة. We also use fillers. يعني filler فشي يعني الحشو. We also use fillers which don't mean very much but fill the gaps. Fillers يعني ممكن ما بها معنى لكن هي تملأ الفراغات. For example here, Tashi and Galapagos Islands, Philippines, and هنا هاي كلمة stuff هي الفيلر and stuff like that. It doesn't mean anything but to only fill the gap. Monkeys swinging off their rear views mirrors and things. The getting up at like 4 in the morning. Here is a filler. Like 4 in the morning. مثلا يعني هاي شلون نقول بالعربي مثلا بالأربعة صباحا. And when you were on these travels, I mean هنا also a filler. هاي بالإيتاليكس هي الفiller. I mean, did your dad sort of هنا هم sort of is a filler have a notebook and he'd be sort of stopping everywhere. يعني ممكن هنا إذا ما نقول and he'd be stopping everywhere صحيحة لكن هنا إحنا جبنا الفيلر sort of it doesn't have much يعني meaning هنا but it only fills in the gap. هاي يسموها الفيلرز. Exclamations. Match an exclamation in B with a line in C. Exclamation أكو بعض الكلمات وراها علامة التعجب هاي يسموها يعني أشياء نستخدمها أكثر شيء للتعجب. For example هاي it's absolutely delicious. When you hear somebody says it's absolutely delicious, that is يعني الجواب is absolutely delicious. It expresses your feelings about food. It's absolutely delicious. Okay. Whoa here expresses either an astonishment or an admiration. Whoa, that's unbelievable. How amazing. Whoa, it expressed astonishment or admiration. Whoa, that's unbelievable. Unbelievable, sorry. That's unbelievable. How amazing. Hey, hey بقى طريقة اللفظ. Hey, Peter, come over here and sit with us. Hey, Peter, come over here and sit with us. Hey is used to attract attention or express either surprise or interest. Oh, really? Oh, really? How interesting. Oh, really? How interesting. Here, oh expresses either interest, surprise, usually said in response to a comment from another person. يعني دائما احنا او عادة يعني نستخدمها من نريد يعني نعلق او نجاوب على تعليق لشخص معين. ف oh really how interesting. Oh really how interesting. So it expresses either surprise or interest. Ah, 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 what a shame. Ah, what a shame. Here, expresses emotions including surprise, sympathy, pleasure, realization. Ouch, ouch. That really hurts. Ouch, that really hurt. It expresses ouch here, here expresses pain. Yuck, yuck. Yuck here expresses disgust. Yuck. That's disgusting. So it expresses disgust. Yuck, that's disgusting. Oh, oh, that's nonsense. What a stupid thing to say. Oh, that's nonsense. What a stupid thing to say. For expresses hesitation or uncertainty. So it expresses hesitation or uncertainty. That's nonsense. What a stupid thing to say. Phew, phew. What a relief. What a relief. Phew. What a relief. Thank goodness for that. What a relief. Thank goodness for that. Here it expresses relief. She expresses relief. What a relief. Thank goodness for that. Whoops. 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 Sorry about that. I dropped it. Whoops. Sorry about that. I dropped it. Whoops here expresses apology or strong reaction of relief. Whoops. Sorry about that. I dropped it. So here whoops again expresses apology or a strong reaction of relief. Music of English with exclamations اللي هي التعجب وعلامات التعجب using what هاي علامة التعجب and how also exclamation mark اللي هي هاي علامة التعجب. Your intonation should rise and fall on both the adjective and noun. ويا التعجب كلمات التعجب والعلامة التعجب اللي هي يعني exclamation and exclamation mark. Your intonation النغمة should rise ترتفع and fall تنخفض on both. وين ترتفع وتنخفض النغمة أو النغمة ترتفع وتنخفض يعني بصوتنا على الادجكتيف الصفة والnoun والاسم. For example what بعد هنا انخفاض ارتفاع وبعدين انخفاض ارتفاع وبعدين انخفاض. What awful shoes. What awful shoes. تلاحظون هذا الادجective وهاي النوم. awful adjective and shoes noun. What a fantastic view. What a بعد النغمة مال صوتي. What a fantastic view. How amazing. How amazing. فإذا your intonation should rise, rise and then fall, rise and then fall. Here also rise and then fall on both the adjective and the noun. Here is the adjective and the noun, and here is the adjective. So with exclamations, that is the music of English, طريقة اللفظ اللغة الإنجليزية, using what and how. Your intonation should rise and fall on both the adjective and noun. طبعا دائما بالexclamation لازم تخلون بالأخير علامة exclamation mark، علامة التعجب، وإلا ما تكون هي هاي كلها exclamation، ما تكون الجملة للتعجب. إذا تخلون full stop فهاي مو تعجب، لازم تكون موجودة exclamation mark. And thank you.